What is going on, kings and queens of this wonderful wonderland that we call YouTube? We're here once again with another review. I haven't done one since I've been back from my hiatus, but I figured we'll do one. And the review that I have chosen for today is a doozy. I don't know why I'm choosing to do this to myself. Um, in all honesty, I don't really know how I feel about this review. I feel kind of weird about it, and I'm sure that'll make for an interesting and entertaining video. Reason being is that if you paid attention to my Facebook at all, today is 50 Shades of Grey, as the title says. Um, First things first, I should probably explain a couple things before we get neck deep into this. Um, First off, I feel as though I should put a viewer discretion warning out there for mature content. So if there's any kids watching this, this is directed towards you. I'm going to try and keep it as clean as possible, but naturally dealing with 50 Shades of Grey, as you know, everybody knows, it's gonna be hard. There might be spots where I can't censor it very well. I don't know, but you know, just in case, there's mature content here. So if you're under the age of 18, I'll be fair, 18, go find something else on my channel to watch, because this video is not for you. The second thing I should probably explain, and probably the most important one, is kind of the story behind this video, and why I personally watched 50 Shades of Grey. And that would be because way back in the day, about maybe a year and a half ago, give or take, the first review video I did of a movie was of a movie called Gone Girl, as some of you may remember. And in that video, I basically explained how that happened. My friend and his cousin and I got together and wanted to watch a movie, so we went to Walmart, picked it out, you know, kind of went for broke, sounded girly, so, you know, if it was, we could laugh at it, and I would make a review of it just to see how it took, and it actually ended up to be a pretty good movie, very good movie actually. If you want to check out that review, it's floating around there on my channel. Check it out if that is of any interest to you. As the old saying goes, those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And I did learn something from that video. I learned that Gone Girl, kind of the flub video that it was, has gone on to be my most viewed and most successful video to date. So, you know, naturally, 50 Shades of Grey came out. I thought lightning might strike twice. I tried to get my friend and his cousin to sit and watch it with me, just for the sake of a review, just for the sake of this, and they wouldn't have it. I don't blame them, but you know, worth a try. So some months went by, it came out on DVD, and still in the back of my head, I'm going, oh, we gotta do this. So one day here a couple weeks ago, a friend of mine came over and we were watching movies, and she was on this where you put digital movies on your computer, and that was on her list. And I said, you know, we have to watch this just for the sake of YouTube, and she agreed. And here we are. Uh, I don't know how I feel about it. I've said it once. I've said it on Facebook. I'll say it again. I just feel very weird, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Now, if you're watching this, I think you're one of two groups of people. The first one being the late watchers like myself that have had it in the back of their mind maybe or just never got to it and are curious to know how the movie is um, in relation to the book, which is an entirely different monster altogether. Uh, or you're part of the group that has seen it, saw it maybe when it came out, and you're just interested to hear what I have to say. Um, but for the people that haven't seen it and are curious, let me explain. This part's for you. I'm going to explain 50 Shades of Grey in a nutshell to you. Okay, this isn't your grandmama's traditional love story, guy meets girl, um, girl and guy date, guy and girl meet uh, happily ever after, they live happily ever after, ta-da, the end. No, this love story goes a little bit something like guy meets girl, guy seduces girl, girl finds out what a kinky freak the guy is, and they go on to engage in a very interesting, very explicit relationship. um, so here we are with the two characters, of course. Christian Grey, which is, 50 Shades of this guy. I think I've seen more of this guy than I want to. And Anastasia Steele, which is the female lead in this movie, whom I definitely saw more than I wanted to of. Uh, and there was a couple parts of this movie, watching these two characters interact, that were kind of funny to me. Because Christian Grey is the type of guy where I think at first most guys want to be him. I know I did watching it. Um, he was calm, cool, mysterious, collected, millionaire playboy type. I think at any degree, any guy would want to be that. That's until you find out, about the skeletons in his closet, figuratively speaking. Um, but he's kind of a straight shooter. I think he says a lot of unromantic, just upfront and vulgar things that guys say in their head, but never say out loud because you don't want to ruin the romance. This is where the mature content comes in because I can't really censor this, but he says things like, just randomly in conversation, um, things to Anastasia like, um, if you were mine, you wouldn't be able to sit for a week. Or one time at dinner, he just randomly said, I want to fuck you into the middle of next week. Things like that. So he's just a really straight shooter, and just the timing of situations where it'll just be a normal situation, like they're having dinner or they're sitting talking to each other, and he'll just say things like that. It's almost kind of comical. Um, and Anastasia is very, almost kind of, she's very shy, very quiet. in the beginning of the movie anyway. And then she kind of says the obvious, like they're doing it, and Christian's mom walks in, and she said something along the lines of, "Oh, your mom's here," and then they quit doing it. And she's just kind of one of those, I don't want to say duncy girls, because she's definitely not, but she just kind of has that shy deer in the headlights aura about her. Um, and so yeah, they kind of, I don't know, they have this thing. Before let me now that I've described the characters, let me back up and explain what um, 50 Shades is all about. As far as the sexual explicit part of it. The reason why it's as dirty as it is because Christian is a dominant, and Anna, through the course of their flirting and their uh, bizarre courtship, I'll call it, is his submissive. To the point where she has to sign a contract saying that um, she is okay with things that happen. There's safe words in case they sexually experiment too far. Uh, and they definitely push the limits. I mean, he's got a playroom that he keeps under lock and key that has handcuffs and whips and chains and everything that, might excite somebody of that nature. I don't know. He's a kinky freak, needless to say. Um, but anyway, okay, that's the kind of an overview of 50 Shades. But I really wanted to take some time and get into the bulk of the review here. Get into the bulk of the confusing feelings and everything that I've had, um, that I've been talking about for a number of weeks to friends and family and Facebook and everything, getting prepared to do this. And that would be my overall feeling toward the movie. I actually really liked it. I didn't necessarily want to like it because, I figured it was going to be stupid or it wasn't going to be for me, and I just wanted to do it to make a review and to kind of laugh at it. But the truth is, uh, once you get past all the kinky, sexy stuff, like, the first couple times they do it, it might be a little embarrassing. Like, you're like, oh, geez, it's coming. And I think that's because we all expect it from 50 Shades. But once you get comfortable with their arrangement and what's going on, and you can actually focus on the story and the characters, it's a really good movie. And that's fine and dandy. But in all honesty, if I'm going to be honest here, uh, to say that movie to me was a very good movie, and to feel the way that I do about it, feels very awkward to me. It doesn't feel right. And I think the reason being for that is because I'm a guy, and I guess with the nature of 50 Shades being a hardcore romance movie slash book slash whatever you want to classify it as, a story, uh, I guess I kind of feel that it wasn't or it isn't okay for me as a guy to like it as much as I did. I don't know. I feel very awkward about it. And that's not to say that guys can't like movies like that. As a matter of fact, if you do like it, if you're a guy out there that has seen it and you thought it was okay, more power to you, because quite frankly, I don't want to be alone in this. Um, so I guess I'm feeling just a level of confusion as to why I like it as much as I did. Um, and just kind of shocked that I liked it as much as I did, because as I said, I kind of went into it as this movie's gonna suck. It's just gonna be filled with sex and awkwardness, and it's gonna make for an interesting review, a funny review, and I'm just gonna make a bunch of jokes about it. That was kind of the attitude that I had going into it. Um, and that wasn't the case, and it kind of caught me off guard, I think. So there's this level of, like I said, just shock that I liked it as much as I did. There's a level of awkwardness being a guy, I guess. Um, I don't know. I know I don't have to feel that way, because, to each his own. But, like, I just didn't expect it to affect me, I guess, the way it did. Maybe that's the wrong word. Um, and anyway, in closing, because of the way I feel, because I'm not necessarily at peace with the fact that I like it, I'm going to change things up. I know typically when it comes to reviews, I will either give it I will give it a rating and a recommendation as to whether or not you should see it. But because of just the odd feeling that I have talking about this, I'm not going to do that. Because I really feel like 50 Shades of Grey is one of those movies where it's just, viewer's choice. You're either going to want to see it or you're not going to. And I feel like uh, everybody, as of today, everybody that wants to see it or wanted to see it has already seen it. So I really feel like me putting a rating on it or recommending it wouldn't be the thing to do. Whether or not you want to see it, I'm leaving up to you. And if you haven't seen it already, and if you have seen it and thought it was a good movie or not, that's also up to you. Um, okay, let me just clear the air here before I go away. Uh, the movie probably isn't as awkward as I'm making it sound. The reason why it's awkward for me is because, as I said earlier, I didn't expect to like it. I didn't want to like it, and I did. Um, so it's just kind of unexpected, I guess. And like I said, as a guy, for me to like something of the nature that 50 Shades of Grey is, and everything that's associated with 50 Shades of Grey, I just, am surprised at myself, I'm surprised at the movie, da 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 da. But if you like it, no judgments. Um, but I think, as far as my overall opinion, I think it's gonna stop with the fact that I did like it very much, and I will be, unfortunately, watching the second one when that comes out. But the rest, I will leave up to you, the viewer, the moviegoer, whether or not you want to see it if you haven't already, and um, if you have and either liked or disliked the movie, your opinion is yours. Um, and with that, card soldiers, as always, I salute you. And remember, we're all a little mad here, especially today, reviewing 50 Shades of Grey. That's right, I just Dr. Seuss'd it. Live with it. Boo!